All right.
Hey.
And we're live here at the Sliver THETA HQ with the one and only Wes Levitt.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
And I'm Kyle Laffey, work for Sliver TV and kind of head up our content and partnerships. So, yeah, pretty casual format here today. We got some interesting questions beforehand, and you of course can also ask via chat. So, yeah, I think, Wes, feel free to, if you want, dive in, maybe give it a few minutes, but we're going to be playing a little Fortnite. As you can see over here, we got, is the hotkey working? Hotkey's not working.
Yeah, so feel free to shoot any questions you have about the Sliver platform, about the THETA network. You can check out Kyle's excellent Fortnite skills while we're at it. And
I did have the hotkey set up where you could press these two. Let me just update that. Okay, hotkey. Yeah, it looks like it's set up. Maybe numlock's not on. No? Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, 4 and 5. Cool. Okay, guys. Hello. There's chat right there. Hey guys, welcome. The set dressing's kind of nice, right?
I do like that.
People can peek the G Fuel. We got hidden sponsors. More to come soon.
I know some of these Sliver THETA merch you may not have seen before.
Oof, available now in the shop. It's almost like the shop is right behind us.
Our low-key way of trying to get you to send your T-Fuel back in the shop.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Let's pull up here for any notes. How you doing today, Wes? We feeling good?
Doing good. I'm rocking. Speaking of merch, I've got my THETA mainnet shirt, which I think is still a limited item you have to win on Sliver.
Oh man, I think you can even win one now if you look over to our. I guess it would be that way.
Yeah.
That way. So Wes, if you point to your left, you can point now at the prizes.
What do we got over here?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Gotcha,
That's where the shirts are.
Gotcha.
Hey everyone. Okay, cool. So we're gonna be playing some no skin Fortnite in the background here, but yeah, I think today is all about asking the questions that you want to know about Sliver, about THETA, and we'll be fielding the questions as we can. Of course, there's certain things that just due to legal and privacy reasons we might have to just be careful of, but we want to answer as much as we can. We want to be transparent with you guys and gals, and we're super excited. So. I'm dropping in my first game. Maybe Wes can get started, but again, welcome.
Looking forward to everyone's thoughtful questions. Maybe we don't start out with win Binance, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a little excited here and answer anyway.
So Wes, win Binance?
Tomorrow, I think, actually.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a common question for sure, and of course we can't talk about anything like that. But of course, any questions about streamers? About Guardian nodes, nothing too detailed about the Guardian nodes. That's for our FAQ.
Don't want to bore you guys too much, but
but
yeah, about that. So we launched the pre-Guardian node client yesterday, which is very cool. It's very much an alpha version of what the Guardian nodes will actually look like. You're not actually running into a network, but it does a couple cool things. First of all, it lets users start earning T-Fuel, which is important. But it starts also guiding users to what that's going to look like when the Guardian nodes launch in Q3. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are upset we only released a Windows client so far. We're not trying to hold out on anyone using a Mac. That will come very shortly. We'll try to have that as soon as possible, and as soon as we can, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Do we want to maybe just load up the first question in the current question?
Yeah, is that displaying here? Or?
Yeah, if we just over there on that WordPad. And then, yeah, I can even just start with that question, I guess. I thought that was an interesting one, so I threw that in here. How do you incentivize popular streamers to join Sliver TV? And I think that's one that like a lot of maybe not like users are thinking about, but maybe more like business people or whatever, whether you're a brand or a platform. I mean, the short answer is like make something that people actually see value out of, and they're going to end up contacting you. So I think it took us a while to find what worked with our prediction system, with the way we host Twitch streamers, offer them additional views, of course, boost their social following. But that didn't all happen overnight. We worked and we iterated over and over in terms of, hey, what do streamers want? Okay, they want viewership. How can we get a bunch of users in the same channel watching them? And how can we make this work as a business? So it was just something that happened very slowly over time. And I think that now that we're in a place where we have a valuable product, the streamers are reaching out to us, and we make it easy with forms and programs they can sign up for. And of course, we do outreach when we see a promising streamer or game entering the space. So hopefully that makes sense, guys.
Yeah, and the integrating THETA into the Sliver TV is kind of like the next step of that. What's already been a platform where streamers can interact a lot more with users and get more engaged users. That's always been the case, but now with users being able to earn T-Fuel and even donating it back to the streamers, it just is even more of that effect.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream, you're likely earning T-Fuel right now, assuming that you are peering with other folks.
Yeah, that's right.
We're taking your upload bandwidth and giving you essentially a cryptocurrency in return that you can spend on the shop or donate to your favorite streamers.
Yeah.
For those of you who might want to know a little more, tfuel.sliver.tv has a pretty basic FAQ. Man, this game is so dark. Doesn't this look dark to you?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. Maybe it's just nighttime in Fortnite. But
so I'll go. Yes, it is. The rumor is true. I am into heavy metal.
Are you?
Yeah. Favorite metal album all time. Probably The Crown, Death Race King. Or some old school thrash metal, but yes,
you know, our head of product, Ryan Nichols, loves himself some of that.
No kidding.
One time, here's a funny story. One time, you know, and the office is pretty quiet. We of course talk when we need to be, but we were all packing up our computers, getting ready to head out, and he closed his laptop, and it did that Mac sound glitch where it plays for a sec, and this loud metal, you know, just like playing, and he panics, and he just like. I forget what he does, but it was like, we were all like, okay, so that's what you've been coding to.
How embarrassing.
No, I think it was a nice moment. It was learning a little more about each other.
Right.
I gotta find a single person. I guess I killed one guy, but...
Is this the standard version, or is this that Rumble version?
This is standard, so this guy's gonna be getting headshot shortly, yep, just like that. You know, I did make a new account, Sliver Dog, and likely I'm going to be getting paired with not as good of players per se, but whoa! Where is this guy? Oh.
Hey, Alana asks, so will there be a limit to the number of Guardian nodes? So there will be initially. We're thinking around 100. That's mostly just because during testing phase we're concerned about latency between the Guardian nodes, and the idea is that we would start with a limited number like 100, and then as we test and get confident that they're coming to consensus regularly and reliably, then we'll expand that number until we reach what we think is probably a maximum of roughly 1,000. But again, this is something we're consistently trying to develop, and ideally can increase that to as many as possible. Onboarding client, that is only until the Guardian nodes actually launch. You can think of that as kind of like an alpha, really just a stopgap until Q3 when we can actually launch the Guardian nodes.
I know we can't do it for every question, but let's maybe put some stuff about Guardian nodes. Or even if it's just like, rather than current question, we could do topic, and it could just be Guardian nodes in general. Sure. Yeah, exactly, you got it. Cool. For those of you tuning in, you might not play Fortnite. We do, you know, we have it in the background, just have something to watch. Just a little more of a casual format, but definitely open to feedback. If you guys want something more formal, you want to see the CEO in here, and you want to see just us grilling him, you know, let us know, and we'll all put suits and ties on. I'm going to be honest, I had a jersey on before the stream. I took one look in the mirror and I said, this is too serious. This is not a casual AMA. I'm dressing up with a jersey and getting on Fortnite solos. Like, all right, let's tone it down. So, yeah, kind of a casual format. Let us know what you guys think. And let's get some T-Fuel and THETA icons in chat. Don't forget about the THETA one. I think people spam a lot of T-Fuel. They don't forget what started it all.
Don't forget the OG.
Don't forget the steak, right?
Yeah.
You gotta.
I do like the idea of getting Mitch in here. Unfortunately, he's in Korea doing actual work while we're here, you know, messing around on Fortnite.
Some tough stuff.
But yeah, we should definitely make this a series. We'll get Mitch in here to discuss strategy for the project as a whole. We can get Tim, our head of product, in here to discuss kind of the platform with THETA
we gotta
and where
get
that's
Tim
going.
in here.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, I wish I could tease one of those things Tim's working on. The you know what with the you know who.
Yeah, no.
That's some good stuff. They'll find out about that in the next couple of weeks.
This live format, I'm afraid I'm going to let something slip.
I know. I gotta rebind that. So yeah, we got some really cool content coming to you guys. Esports and not. We're gonna be experimenting with some new stuff. So, man, do I want to tell you about what we're talking about? But you got to wait about a week, and it's a pretty big, cool thing. So we're not going to just let it slide here on the AMA.
Yeah. So will there be a wallet in Sliver to withdraw T-Fuel and THETA? THETA, no, that's not really part of the platform level currency, but T-Fuel, yeah. That is something we get asked a lot about withdrawals of T-Fuel from Sliver. It definitely will be possible, and that's an important part of the protocol as a whole. That can't have just a closed ecosystem, or it doesn't make sense to have the benefit of multiple platforms adopting THETA. What it comes down to is putting fraud protections in place. Because what we don't want is basically some clever person out there running a bot farm and opening up 1,000 different windows on, say, our AMA today, earning a bunch of T-Fuel, and then essentially draining the THETA accounts full of T-Fuel that we may be using. The alternative to stop that would be to KYC everyone, but that's not really an attractive option and kind of goes against what we're trying to accomplish here by creating a decentralized system. So,
sorry, Wes, I gotta interrupt you, but let's get some T-Fuels in chat for that shot. All right, go ahead. Sorry, talk about real things.
Yeah. So, yeah, short answer is yes, it is coming, but we have to be careful about that. Otherwise, it's going to create a situation where we have just massive amounts of fraud on this.
THETA. Oh, you gotta scroll down. This is stuck at the
top.
top.
I know.
I don't know why. Hey, Mr. Head of Product, our pop-out chat doesn't seem to scroll. Maybe it will now.
No, it's fine.
Now that we're at the bottom. Here. There's just so much activity. It's hard to keep up with it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll just pick the fun ones then, since.
And yeah, you do a little copy-paste action. Fuzzhead Jr. What's up? Salty's giving me crap about not wearing
my jersey. There's our first Binance question. Here we go.
Binance question. What is it?
When
Binance?
The official answer, as always, is we cannot discuss any specifics regarding exchanges. So you can just.
But we appreciate it, and we want to know too.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
We got lots of calls for Mitch to join the next one. Okay, yeah.
Cool, yeah. I
when
think
he's back from Korea, then I think we should plan our...
He's pretty likable on camera. I think he's shy, not shy, but he's shy about the fact he's good on camera. But as soon as he gets talking, you're like, oh, this is definitely the chief executive officer. Like, all right.
Yeah, he did great when we were on Korean TV that time.
Yeah. And I brought in my video camera like a year and a half ago, and we shot that little interview at the old office with him. He did, and you talked on that too. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I just messed up something with the microphones, which bugged me. There was a slight sound issue. But I think doing more video content and being transparent is something we're definitely excited about, guys. And
yeah, it's a lot. You'll see a lot more now that we've moved to our nice larger office in San Jose. We outgrew the one in Cupertino, which didn't really have a nice space for us to doing this in. But now they've got kind of our live video.
We've got our T-Fuel shop right behind us. Yeah. Go ahead and use that slider and apply that discount if you're interested. Keep in mind that shirt Wes is wearing, not available for long. So if you want to, give your friends some crap about how they didn't score the limited edition mainnet shirt, go ahead and get that today.
Exactly. And then I appreciate the enthusiasm. He asked, when are you acquiring Twitch, YouTube, and Netflix?
That's a good one.
Wednesday,
it's a common question.
Wednesday, Thursday,
I think it's going to get announced. Yeah.
I
think we're still waiting on papers.
In time, In time.
Yeah. Those would all be great platforms to not even necessarily talking about an acquisition, but just get integrated. What if we got integrated and they had all this THETA fuel to give to their users, and those THETA users could spend it.
Yeah, I think you should turn the volume down. I think they've got this cranked.
Oh, sure. The volume on Fortnite?
No, for here. Yeah.
Let's see. Turn down volume on. I wonder if they're talking about the game or.
I think it's on just the channel in general.
Let's see.
Probably because there's no volume slider, right? Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I haven't gotten any notes from our team about volume issues, but let us know what's too loud and we'll adjust it.
Long asked, when does the mobile version to share bandwidth ready to go? So we're actually finishing up testing of a mobile SDK with one of our existing partners that's launching a new mobile app. So that's really exciting. So we haven't released a generic SDK of that because we've been focusing on this specific one for this mobile partner. When that's done, though, then we'll...
Oh my lord!
We'll generalize that for a mobile SDK that we can release.
Look at this is CDN costs. Watch what happens to the CDN costs.
Are you gonna blow up?
I hope I killed the CDN cost. Oh, I missed! Oh, I killed the CDN cost. Okay. That would have been a bad joke if I died.
Bad omen. That means Akamai wins.
Yeah. I told Vera about the Game of Thrones thing. No, sorry. It was a GIF we were gonna make, like a joke, meme content. I haven't seen it yet, but she could be working on it. That premiere is like next week. Game of Thrones premiere.
Yeah.
Whew. Imagine an event like the Game of Thrones premiere broadcast with Theta Fuel, where all those users are restreaming it. It's essentially like a live stream because of how many people watch the VOD at once. Super exciting to think about what the future of Theta could look like.
I see a lot of people asking if it's the real Wes. I don't know if you've seen all these scammers impersonating me lately on our Telegram channel. Shameful.
Let's put something general in there.
It is.
We're just moving too quick. Yeah. I think just having like... we brought in a replacement Wes, but we're happy to... no, that's the real one.
Yeah.
That's the face.
Well, I haven't asked anyone for their private keys yet, so that's a pretty good indicator that I'm not the scammer.
If he assures you he's Wes, he's probably not Wes.
Yeah.
Come on, peek me.
I think you're also getting accused that this isn't really you playing.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say that. They say, well, what professional did you bring in? Is it Ninja? It's like, no, is Ninja good enough? Is it Tfue? Now we're talking a little closer. We couldn't, we didn't want to pay for Tfue, so we just had, I don't know, Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, we just brought in the in-house talent.
See, what a lot of you guys don't know is that Kyle was actually at one time the #1 world ranked World of Warcraft.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Yeah. So he's got some credibility in this, for sure. It's not hard to believe.
Peaked early, 10 years ago. Yeah, I used to play a lot. Those of you who play WoW, I used to play a lot of WoW Arena. That's kind of my. I mean, I play every game, but played a lot of Wrath of the Lich King, WoW Arena, as a Frost Mage.
So about smart contracts. So we are building in smart contract support for Theta, probably Q3, Q4 this year, depending on priorities. It's not something that's absolutely core to the first adoption for video platforms, but you can do a lot of interesting things for it that we think make it worthwhile. Doing like creative things, being able to split how T-Fuel is earned and distributed among different streamers, or different ways that you can redeem T-Fuel on the different platforms that are adopting it. So yeah, definitely aiming for this year that we'll have smart contract support added.
This guy's in the little, he's like down in the cornfields. He's just shooting a little, I don't know where he is. I gotta poke myself out to see where he is. Anyways.
The guy playing is too loud.
The guy playing is too loud. I'm talking too loud. So that's the mic. I actually am not entirely sure how to turn just that mic down. Maybe Salt listening knows how to do that, or I'm probably screaming too loud when I'm playing. I can try to be less loud. And the mic, I mean, maybe the mic's a little sensitive. Dubpace is already just commenting on this. I think we have, you can turn around if you want to see, we probably have like about 100, 150 viewers. Where am I getting shot from? Kyle's off the AMA. When it's down to top 10, Kyle's not involved, okay?
Yeah, don't worry, you just do your thing.
I do have a couple of questions I want to talk about, but feel free to go for it. Oh, here he is.
So here's one that someone submitted before. What was one of the challenges in making Sliver Theta a reality? So I can touch on the Theta side.
I got rocked.
I would say pretty much everything, considering everything that we do starting. Well, first of all, it's a startup to begin with, so nothing's easy. And then on top of that, blockchain is a pretty early space, and then last of all, as we move from an ERC20 token to building our own blockchain, we had to learn a lot and fix a lot of things along the way. But actually on the technical side, I wouldn't say that's the biggest challenge because we have a great team led by JE, our CTO, who can pretty much solve anything in our opinion.
He's a genius. You see him think of a problem and
he's a literal rocket scientist who has PhD from Northwestern. I would say the biggest challenge with THETA is really adoption, especially because if you think about what our project is, it's really almost more akin to a B2B platform in some ways, in that we have to. The main entry point is to get major video networks and video platforms to adopt us. And a lot of times you're dealing with large corporations and conservative technical folks who, it's an uphill battle to get them to take a chance on new technology. So that's been a challenge, but I think what we've done is just started small, done proof of concepts like with Samsung VR and with NBN, and show them that the technology works, got them comfortable on the test net without putting real value at stake. And that's what's worked for us so far. Yeah. And then now as we start transitioning onto mainnet, now we have real examples we can use to point to other video platforms. And so we just have to take kind of a step-by-step approach. It's not something that can be done overnight, but
it kind of reminds me of the streamer question earlier. It's like, you build something valuable, and eventually they're going to start outreaching to us. But in the meantime, we're working on making a good product. We talked about it a year and a half ago. We worked hard, launched it on March 15th. It's live right in front of you. You're earning T-Fuel as you upload that you can go spend in the shop. And I think the reality of that is so cool, and it's so promising, the metrics we're seeing from these users, that we are seeing some of these companies turning their heads and saying, wow, okay, what would it take to really integrate these guys? Just like with any tech, though, it takes a while to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It takes time, but you do see incremental progress. Even just like within Samsung being as massive an organization it is.
There's so many departments, right? There's the VR.
Absolutely. We can't talk to everyone or have everyone know who we are initially, but over time, like Samsung Next, the venture arm invested in us, then we started working with Samsung VR. That introduced relationship with some Samsung groups in Korea, and over time it starts to build until, like you said, word starts spreading of us, and we start getting a little bit of inbound interest, which makes us think that it's working. It's
like getting investors. Like once one of them gets involved, everyone's like, oh my god, what are we missing out on? And
it's kind of a herd mentality.
Yeah. But that said, like at the end of the day, we have the numbers, we have the utility, like we have the technology to back it up. So there's not even a particular project I'm talking about, but I think in blockchain a lot of the time people get so into the hype or what the coin's going to be worth, and we made something and it's live right now, so we can only really improve from here. I think it's super exciting how we went live, and here we are, and we're just at the beginning. We're just at one stream at a time still. So I'm so excited about some of these D-apps that are being discussed.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people ask about that, including our very own Dubpace, our awesome data streamer, about rolling out to more streamers. And yes, that's in process. We're deliberately rolling out incrementally and adding more and more channels so we can build momentum and start educating more streamers and more viewers about THETA. And yes, that is the goal, that over time, all, or at least almost all THETA streams on Sliver will be run on THETA. The only time it wouldn't be if we hosted like a special event or something where we're embedding something like a special Twitch event or something. But yeah, primarily it's all going to be run on THETA. Yeah, and the network of that grows as you introduce more and more streamers and more viewers into the system.
And I know that like even over the next few weeks and next few months, like pretty shortly here, you guys are going to have the option to choose different streamers at once, different types of content. We really want to make sure everything's running smooth before we 5x the amount of streamers or 10x the amount. So I think Dubpace's question comes from 2 points. It comes from A, he loves our technology and he's interested, and 2, it's sort of like, hey, when can I stream my own hours, is also what he's saying, which is like, we hear you and we have so many fun streamers we want to work with and we want to get them all their own hours. And it's coming up super short, and I know that I've also seen them working on video player. So we want to give you guys that volume slider. We want to give you the option to watch in different qualities, the ability to sub. I've seen all this stuff being worked on. I think they're just prioritizing, and you're going to see a lot of it rolling out pretty quickly here over the coming months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep in mind, like Twitch started in 2011, and some of these features that we're working on were, similar problems or similar features that Twitch struggled with or worked on when they're starting up. So we're super excited, and we're just getting started, and we're already seeing a lot of success, I think.
Yeah. Someone asked about, so if big companies start using the mainnet, is there a concern that big farmers, I assume you mean like miners, will start taking all the T-fuel away from that? So if the concern is that big platforms use it and they'll have some people that will be, I guess, hoarding the amount of T-fuel that by sharing all the bandwidth, it's possible, but at the same time, I think if we get a steady stream of video platforms adopting it, especially larger ones, that problem kind of takes care of itself. Already, video traffic is 80% of all internet traffic, and I think that's expected actually to grow even more so. So I don't think the problem is going to be there's too many people sharing bandwidth. As long as we're doing our jobs and there's enough video platforms adopting it. There's a lot of people watching that can benefit from pulling their video from the THETA network.
And just on that note, I think something that a lot of people don't realize is like, I think video is just the beginning for us, and we obviously want to nail that down and take our time with it. But imagine when you're downloading a huge Fortnite patch or like, you know, the latest Apex patch. They're big, they're gigabytes, and if you could earn T-fuel just for downloading that and sharing it to others, I mean, it's the applications go from music to video to data to really anything that can be shared like that.
Yeah, that's totally right. Video is the first application we went with simply because that's where a lot of teams' experience is in, and because it makes up so much of internet traffic. But there's nothing about the way the THETA network's built that precludes you from using any other type of data transfer for it. That a Fortnite patch, that's a perfect example. Something where it has the exact same characteristics that work for peer-to-peer, where you have lots of people downloading the same file in around the same amount of time, like heavy concurrency, just like a live stream. So we think that's a perfect example. Yeah. And that's something that some of the companies we've talked to are really excited about too, going beyond video to just anything where there's redundant bandwidth usage.
Yeah.
We got a user asking about schedules for streamers when they're going to be on channels. Is that something that we're going to start posting kind of, or what's the plan for that? Since there's a lot of people that are like to tune in whenever there's a famous
I think that's something that we could do. I think maybe even as early as next week we could post you guys here's our 24/7 T-fuel schedule, and then like we mentioned, we're quickly moving towards allowing these streamers to kind of set their own schedules, and then you can follow them on Twitter or wherever that is. That you want to see them go live. So, short answer, we'll try to get up something next week. I mean, I know if you do follow these streamers on Twitter right now, like Dubpace will post his hours, and Ronnie Crazy will. But yeah, that's good feedback. I think that's something we can work on.
Yeah. So Ned asked about OTT apps and for consoles and smart TVs. That's something we're really excited about. You probably saw a couple weeks ago where we posted our first testing we've done with the CJ viewing set-top box. So as part of our partnership with CJ, it's actually why we first started working for them. There's something else in the works there, but they asked us to take a look at their set-top box and see if this is something that could be used with data as well. And it runs on Android, so the same Android SDK that we're developing for mobile essentially works out of the box with this viewing box, which has a ton of cool implications. We've already started talking about the idea. It's a little bit out in the future, but if every viewing box sold by CJ can also be acting as a THETA relay node, it's got there's some wild ideas you can do from a business perspective. Like, what if they're marketing that CJ box for $80 and they can tell consumers credibly that you can pay that back over a 6-month period just by running it while you're sleeping or something like that.
Yeah, pending a stable market price. But yeah, exactly.
Yes. But the point is the idea you could sell to something like that where it's not a depreciating asset more, it pays for itself. That's very cool. So it's a bit out. That's kind of down the road after some mobile applications we're putting out. But that's why we're very excited about that test with CJ, because it proves that it's possible. And it's definitely something we'll be focusing on in the, I'd say, midterm.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up is I think, we're talking about why video, are you guys doing anything else? And I think the interesting story of kind of how Sliver started. Man, after I hopefully kill him. Okay, how Sliver started was, we were in the VR space. We were broadcasting League of Legends, Counter-Strike in 360 VR. I'm gonna take this chug jug. Imagine you're in Summoner's Rift, and if you look down below you, you've got heroes running around, or you're at bomb site A in Counter-Strike, and you can teleport to bomb site B. We were broadcasting these things in VR. And our biggest expense was content delivery networks. I mean, it was, especially with VR, 8K, 360 video, it was just nuts. And so our investors, who took a look at our spreadsheet of expenses, said, hey, what if you got, and of course, blockchain's very trendy at the time. Everyone's talking about it. But they said, hey, what if you guys were to solve this problem with the blockchain? And I think that's initially what spawned discussions and kind of put us down that path. So it came from a very organic need and a problem that needed a solution.
Yeah. How you doing over here, Kyle?
I got 1 kill. I've been less active. Streamers have it tough, like to interact and to be good and to do all this stuff at once is wild. I mean, I've got you answering questions and I can barely keep up.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
What was the biggest oh crap moment you've had at Slivery?
This is a fun one.
Man.
You got one, or you want me to go first?
Let's see. Oh, my voice is a little louder. Why don't we move my microphone a little back? Yeah, I can do a quick one. I mean, okay, so just 2 that I thought of right off the bat. It's when we were in our VR days. I mean, this isn't a crazy story, but you guys would be surprised how much professional productions like that are. Things are wild in the background, and a whole feed to DreamHack Masters Vegas finals, Virtus Pro versus SK, Brazil versus Russia, and it just like shuts off. Not necessarily to everyone that's watching, but in the backstage, and they have some foolproof measures to kind of prevent it from shutting down. But then on our VR end, we have to fix things on there. So seeing a stream just shut down and thinking these 100,000 people are now not able to watch this content they came for. And then I think the other one would be when we had a lot of Counter-Strike skins and people were winning those on our site, and just seeing the evolution of how Valve handled some of our partners that were helping us with skins and fulfillment, and they decided to make it a lot harder to work with skins. So I think at first we were like, wow, how do we reward our users? How do we keep them engaged? And of course now you see this big shop and this T-Fuel currency that you're earning just for watching. So those are a couple that came off to my head.
Yeah. The first one that came to mind for me, this is kind of a crypto inside one, but like most companies, they'll hold a lot of tokens for security reasons. It's mostly in cold storage, which is pretty standard. But we were making at one point a large internal transfer of tokens from one THETA Labs address to another one, and the Nano Ledger didn't work, and looked like it was signing transactions, but they weren't correctly submitting. And there was a brief moment where we thought a significant amount of THETA tokens were somehow unavailable. As it turns out, the office Wi-Fi was down.
They were available! Hey, gotcha!
As it turns out, the office Wi-Fi was just down, and so as soon as we figured that was a big relief. It was not any problem with the tokens, no problem with crypto, but when there was that many THETA tokens at stake, it was a very scary 30 seconds or so until we realized that.
Don't you worry, guys. We're not losing any of our tokens. It's just bad Wi-Fi. We live in Silicon Valley, yet still we sometimes deal with bad Wi-Fi.
Somehow in San Jose, there's not good Wi-Fi. So there's someone asked about Sony. Sony's investors, Sliver TV, through Sony Innovation Fund, specifically the venture arm, not Sony corporate. And we have a good relationship with them. Talked to some Sony groups. Nothing we can talk about publicly, but yeah, they're a pretty enthusiastic backer.
Those sly dogs trying to get info out of us.
I know. One of these days I'm going to slip. And then another good question: what stops another company like Twitch from making their own blockchain like THETA? Yeah, it's a great question. There's 2 parts to it, I think. One is that just by virtue of us being a startup and this being our 100% focus, there's nothing we are trying to do besides make the THETA network the leading decentralized video network. We're a lot more focused than Twitch, who to them it is just one aspect of what they're doing, or maybe one thing they may try. And second, just because when you're the market leader, it's easy as an incumbent not to feel that urgency. So while it is something that can benefit Twitch, and we think as we start rolling out our main integrations, that's something they can see. Seventh place, really. Something that they'll be able to see. They don't have that same sense of urgency that we do, where this is the most important thing in the world for us to get done. So I guess the short answer is they could, but it's unlikely they will. And we just have so much of a head start in the domain expertise that it would be difficult now for someone like a Twitch to just catch up over the course of a few months.
Yeah, I think Twitch spins off a lot of fun programs where they like try a quick something and see if it sticks, like whether it's extensions or, you know, their latest this or that. But as they should, they kind of put a minimal amount of execution into it to see how it sticks with their users. And I think if it sticks, it's going well. So the blockchain that we've created isn't something you can put a minimal amount of effort into and just throw out there.
Right.
We kind of had to commit. So I think it's something that, you know, we do better than anyone, and it would make more sense for a Twitch to work with us rather than to try to just fight us, you know, just at least from our perspective.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, the free market allows for us to improve each other, and competition always breeds better products, but I don't think it's something that they could just kind of half-ass internally unless they really committed, you know.
Yeah, it's difficult to do as just a side project and maybe throw half-assed effort into it and a couple dollars to it. Like, you really need to be focused on this. There's a lot of challenges to implementing the system. I feel like in the context of a large corporate environment, if this is just one project of many, it may be difficult to justify. It kind of takes a team like us that, like I said, this is the only thing we are focusing on, and it's the only thing we're committed to.
And they're so big, they're owned by Amazon, that I'm not, like, and I'm not entirely sure, but I would imagine they're not as quick to jump into new technology like blockchain. I think they're waiting to see how does a THETA do, you know, with users, and how do they respond to it. So they definitely love their technology, but I don't think they're jumping into anything too new too quickly.
I saw a question about DLive, which I could be wrong on this, but I think it's a decentralized YouTube account. If it's the one I remember using, or maybe. And I'm thinking of D2. DLive is actually built by our rival Lino. So to answer your question, it's not a swear word, but they are. DLive is akin to a competitor to Sliver, built on Lino network, and you know, we wish them well as another blockchain project. I think we all have to root for each other to some extent. That blockchain in general gets more adopted. We think we have a superior product, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. But no hard feelings to those guys, and like I said, I think blockchain and crypto is early enough that it's better off for all of us if we're supporting other projects, even if they may be competitive with us, because we all kind of need the help getting the adoption and mainstream attention that we do. Not really helping ourselves by spending all our time attacking rivals and forming this like tribal mentality.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. You know, we don't sit around and like worrying about DLive. We think that hopefully what they're doing is working for them, but I think we feel pretty good about kind of our product and where we're headed as well.
Yeah. Alana asked about other sites like MBN. Will they give users the option to withdraw T-Fuel? So our existing partners, the ones that we're working very closely with, that is the plan for all of them to be able to, for it to be an open system where you can withdraw T-Fuel. Now that said, you know, eventually we'd like this to get to a place where we don't have to work so directly with every partner, where it's easy for out of the box for a video platform to integrate THETA into their backend. And at that point, when it's open source, we can't force a video platform to operate their business how they would. And maybe there's one that chooses to build where you can't withdraw T-Fuel. and there's not anything we can do about that particularly. It's we're visualizing a decentralized ecosystem where we can't order anyone to do anything. But we think it kind of defeats the purpose of creating that if everyone just has these closed system of video platforms. And that's why it is so important that we get to a place where we can open up withdrawals on Sliver TV, because first of all, we need to lead by example, but two, we've got to solve these problems of fraud and these attacks on the platform to T-Fuel, so that we can go to our partners and say, this is how we fixed it, this is how you should fix it, or this is what worked and this is what didn't. So yes, it will be that to the extent that we haven't the influence over it, we push for all of these to be open platforms.
Yeah, I'm sure anyone's watching that's ever worked with gamers, or I'd imagine blockchain in general, but gamers, they're very quick to try to make a game of it and find out, hey, how can I make more than I'm supposed to, or how can I fraud this, or I don't want to use the word cheat, because it's not necessarily cheating, you're just kind of looking for ways to poking holes, but you know, if you're taking away rewards that were meant for other people, you know, that is kind of a form of cheating. So I think it's something that we're getting better and better at every day, and we're moving towards that direction, but no one would have any rewards to earn if one cheater took them all. So we're just being super safe is all.
Yeah.
And it's definitely on our radar, we hear you.
Yeah, and that comes from experience too, even predating THETA on Sliver TV.
Fraud with the CSGO skins. And we were just talking about, you know, CSGO skins people get really creative with how they want to withdraw or whatever secret method they think is super smart to try to scam skins. But we actually learned for years from that, and we applied a lot of that knowledge to THETA Network today.
Yeah, that's right.
Ronnie Crazy's in here. Ronnie Crazy and Dub, so two of our premier THETA affiliates on their way to THETA Partner. Two of the closest ones actually, and both just a joy to watch. I mean, you know, Dub Pace he's got his pulse on blockchain, and from what I understand, THETA was kind of the inspiration for that. We really were part of the catalyst for why he looked up Bitcoin and looked up how THETA Network works. And Ronnie definitely knows his way around crypto as well. I think Ronnie's a true entertainer though. I mean, the guy's got kids, he's got silly voice changers, he's a blast to watch, and for whatever reason you are watching, you know, you're earning T-Fuel, and I think we're seeing a lot of users and viewers come into their channels and just enjoy everything we've created. So we're still early on, we still have a lot more features to add and streamers to onboard, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed everything we've launched, and we're hoping to scale that pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where is this guy? Oh, he's a god! I didn't realize that. Okay. It's one of the best players that's ever played Fortnite right there.
And you killed him?
No, he just shot me in the face. Yeah. Or he shot me and now I'm dead. Oh no, go ahead, sorry.
Someone asked me if I should play a game.
I think you might have to.
Can you put it on easy mode or something?
Oh, sure, yeah. It's easy to put it on easy mode. That's like, definitely
can you make a new rank 1 player so I get matched up with the other
newbies? Definitely. Yes. We won't be doing that, but I mean I could. We won't. Yeah, I think it'd be good to see Wes on the sticks.
Yeah. Put it on the Rumble one.
Stop
so I can
shooting
die a
me.
bunch of times and my
We'll do Rumble. That's perfect. Yeah. I think I'm about to die. It's not looking super hot for me.
Gungoose asks, can other companies create their own operational token working with THETA to make their own reward system? So that is something that we've done a lot of thinking about, because a lot of video platforms, they're very protective of their brand, and so they don't necessarily want to come out and introduce T-Fuel and brand name to their users, but they really like the idea of adopting the system. And so one thing that may be possible is if a video platform wants to white label T-Fuel and the THETA protocol, you know, we think that's a viable option, as long as under the hood it's still running the THETA protocol like any other video platform, and then
and then I got killed by someone else.
And they're still.
I was trash talking. Sorry.
Yeah. And this video platform is demanding T-Fuel just like any other one, and just be to the consumer facing or to the end user, they just call it something else. Like, that doesn't actually change anything about the economics or the mechanics of the system. Yeah. That's probably okay.
Yeah, it probably makes sense. A big company that might want to keep their branding but still loves our tech, I think we'd be open to working on a solution like that for them.
Yeah.
It's still the same network, you know. It's just operating under a different kind of label there.
Right. Behind the scenes, the company's actually using T-Fuel. They just literally call it something else. Like that. At the end of the day, that doesn't change much.
Should we slide Wes into the hot seat? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. My ears were a little sweaty, so you might not want to put those on.
Okay. I don't need the sound.
You don't need the sound. The most important part. Young ones, gather round. Gather round. Let's talk. Let's see some of these questions we have.
I'm gonna ask a Sliver question then. Why don't you up on that?
Totally, yeah. Ronnie asked a Sliver question.
Oh no, right above there. Right above there.
Right here?
Keep going up. There.
Okay. Sliver question. Will prices in shop change based on T-Fuel market price? What a good question.
What button is reload?
Alana Oldham. It's R. Alana Oldham. It's a great question. We get this a lot, and the answer is yes. Yes, they will. The longer answer is that right now, because Theta Fuel just launched, this is a little formatting here. We've got it at a flat static 1 cent. Before you notice it moved with the market price, so we do have the capability to do that. We're just waiting for it to settle down a little bit in price, hit a few more exchanges. Once we feel like the price is in a stable spot, we'll then switch it over to be dynamic. So no exact date on that because we don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but the sooner the better for us, and you know, it'll reflect in the shop, and we'll make an announcement once that does happen. So training videos for new people that want to maximize the experience. For Sliver, yes, we're working on that. I think for our Sliver Stars program, our partner program, and our Theta Streamer program, videos are being made. And then even on the crypto side, like how to integrate Theta or how to stake or certain things like that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely. There's some things that don't really lend themselves to a video if it's too technical, which is more like something that will be on our GitHub, like an integration guide. But certainly for some of the in-user things like how to use the pre-Guardian node, that could definitely benefit for some videos. So we'll talk about putting something together so that more people can get involved.
Yeah. Cool. Question from Lebowski Gaming. You're missing G Fuel and Microsoft GCs. Okay, Microsoft game card. Okay, so G Fuel will be back in the shop soon. Hang tight on that. Just when you guys saw us implement the new, let me update this question. G Fuel in shop. When we updated the new shop with that slider, it changed a couple of the ways we do prizes internally. So we're working on adding G Fuel right now. It should be up pretty shortly. And then gift cards are, they come and go as they're available. So obviously, always working with new suppliers, always bringing in new codes, but I don't run our inventory, so I don't know exactly when those are getting added. But I know our shop's always getting fleshed out and more prizes. So thank you, Lebowski, for the question. Let's see. Ronnie Crazy has the best cam setup. Yeah, that guy's got a DSLR or something. I want to see Wes play. Dub's the one that wanted to see him. We're a little behind on questions. Let's catch up. Can we get Dub Pace to carry? Yeah, Dub, if you want to just add Wes, you could play. The problem, though, is he's not going to be able to hear you. So maybe we'll set up like a Dub Pace plus Wes plus Kyle AMA in the future. I think that's a little complicated right now. Wes has to play with sound. That's what Dub Pace says. What upcoming features and updates are you most excited about? That's a good question. I can talk about that from the Sliver side of things. So I think for us right now, we're really making sure our streamers have a positive experience. So first and foremost, allowing multiple streamers to go on at once with stable streams at the bitrate they want, and then making sure our users are peering as much as possible, that all that stuff is optimized. We want to add subs to streamers. That's on the list. Like I said, we're going to fix the video player, so volume slider, quality options, things like that. Streamer merch tools are coming. I wish I could tell you more about that, but imagine a Dub Pace shirt or a potato hoodie. And the idea I think there is going to be when you buy their merch, of course, that supports them as well. So not only can you watch their stream to support them, you can buy their merch now. I think doing more with badges, so getting badges, imagine being able to put it in front of your name or have it a little more visible. And then kind of one note on what upcoming features and stuff are we excited about. We've got a lot. There's a lot of features we're excited about, but we're always listening. And I think one example here is all of our stars the other day had this really productive discussion. They said, hey, our giveaways are getting lost. There's so many people doing kind of not as valuable crate giveaways, and they were frustrated. They felt like their giveaways weren't getting seen when they're investing in them. So we got together, we talked, and I think just within a few days, yesterday we announced that giveaways are no longer, you can't use a free crate. So the list is going to be a lot more clean. We're still clean, we're still getting rid of some of the older giveaways and cycling through, but the point I'm trying to make is we heard our streamers, we heard something they were frustrated with, and we got excited about fixing that right away. Another example would be we want our streamers to have moderation privileges, so they decide what gets bleeped or blooped or not. All these kind of streamer tools I think translate over to the users really well and make a better experience for everyone. So not to be too long-winded, hopefully that helped. Heli Vios, thank you for the question. I hope there'll be a VOD of this. Yeah, Sir Logan Mo, we'll post a VOD of this somewhere. Any plans for a Rocket League channel? Yes, I love Rocket League too. And how's Rumble going?
This place is a damn ghost
He
town.
almost got a kill, right? Almost.
This place is a damn ghost town. I can't find anyone.
It's ghost town. Crunker channel. When will the price go down?
I don't know what this is about. We're not going to discuss anything about price.
Yeah, we're not talking about price. I mean, we mentioned that dynamic pricing will update in the shop, but just price discussion on our token is not very productive for today. Will we have an API for developers? We've got some really exciting discussions going with various game developers and other people we can't mention. And I think a one-size-fits-all API would be nice, but for now it'll probably be more custom integrations and build out our API as needed. Lebowski, awesome to hear that G-Fuel's coming soon. Thank you. How many ticks do y'all have? Plans on brand ambassadors or community managers for different languages. Yeah, I think that's going to come with these streamer mod tools. I think you'll see a lot more streamers taking ownership of their channels, bringing in moderators that are either local to their language or whatever they choose. And of course, you can always apply to be a mod. Go ahead to community.sliver.tv and you should find out more information on our mod and streamer program.
Yeah, and if you mean regarding to THETA, I mean, we're always open to adding more communities if there's demand for it. So feel free to go ahead and make it yourself and let us know.
Ooh, nice kill! T-Fuel's in chat. Yeah. Like Wes mentioned, suggestions are we're listening. Any more collabs in the future, such as Movement? Yes, we got actually some pretty cool brands lined up. Obviously can't mention them until they drop, but if you guys like the Movement collab, hopefully you like some of these partners we're bringing in here. So, and of course the idea is to make them available in the shop. Movement being an example. What if you could get that watch and use the slider to decide how much percentage off you wanted? I think that's super cool. So seeing a lot of interest in deciding who makes sense for us to work with. Will we have a page for stats comparing live streamers? I'm not exactly sure what you mean there. Page for stats comparing. I think I know I've heard some cool talk about the THETA token website getting some updates and more data in terms of how the network's being used.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Both on the side of where Guardian nodes are running and also just where streamers are throughout the world and what they're contributing. That's going to be even more so the case once we put out the universal cacher, where you can really just run an independent node and share bandwidth with any of the THETA platforms. You don't have to be necessarily watching. So then we can visualize some really interesting data about exactly who's sharing with whom all over the world.
Oh yeah, it's a good question. I'm going to try to get to some of the ones on the submitted ones here. Let's catch up with chat here. Is the rate of T-Fuel always what? Rate of T-Fuel will change based on your two peers, your location, your internet speed. There's quite a few factors, so there's no one-size-fits-all answer there. Will you be moving the company to Idaho soon? Is that like a meme?
I don't know.
I know there's a lot of ingest servers we use in Idaho.
In Wyoming, because they have a bunch of blockchain legislature going on in Wyoming that's very
it's the new
friendly,
Silicon Valley.
Friendly to crypto companies.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about Idaho, but maybe that's the same.
No. Yeah, I think we're pretty comfortable with where we're at, but always open to traveling and events. Let's see. Okay, we are caught up. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, one more quick question. Let's see. Information. Is there information on developers building DApps for Theta? What programming language will be used?
That's a good question. So the core blockchain is primarily in Go, if I recall correctly. But I'd have to follow up on that as far as for DApp creation where you've been.
Yeah.
We can post the integration guides from our GitHub, and we'll circle up with the team and see what info we can put out on that.
This is a good question. So you said DMZ09 said Twitch. Let me just shorten this. Basically says Twitch has very strict TOS for streaming. For streaming on other platforms. Will these new tools or additions affect that? Okay, so the short answer of this whole Twitch thing is yes. If you are an affiliate or a partner on Twitch, as we understand it, the contract basically says all the live content that you broadcast to Twitch can exist elsewhere for 24 hours. So technically, Twitch streamers aren't allowed to even upload to YouTube for 24 hours. I think that gets a little muddled. But no, the idea is if someone's streaming to Theta and they're partnered to Twitch, they wouldn't want to break that contract. So I think what we've seen is folks like DubPace is actually kind of switched off Twitch at this point. And by no means do we have a contract that says you're not allowed to stream on Twitch or anything like that. But I think the idea is, hey, why would I invest so much time in Twitch when I'm earning on Theta? Or vice versa. You know, why would I want to stream on Theta if I'm already committed to Twitch? So that's a great question, and I think we're definitely in the future always open to talking about how can we collaborate, but I think they own their content, and so we'll be focusing on creators that are willing to kind of work with us on that front and have original content hosted. So where's the potato merch? It's coming. It's coming. When I'm rich, can I take you guys out to eat to say thanks?
Sure, by all means.
Can someone give me a link to submit a question? Yeah, if you just go on our Twitter, there should be a link there. Let me pull up some of these other questions that we had. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Will you be able to earn T-Fuel for all the Sliver streams in the future? A lot more Sliver streams. I think like that kind of begs the questions of, are you guys kicking Twitch streamers off your platform? And no. Twitch streamers are where we found our success, where we have been adored by the community, and I think, you know, we want there to always be a place for those streamers on our platform. With that said, we're a business and it needs to make sense. So I think, you know, as we open up more Theta streamers and more Theta channels, we of course will be giving those a lot of our resources and a lot of our attention, but we'll always have hosts, we'll always have these 24/7 kind of channels that we want to embed people on Twitch, because that reaction of getting a big host of viewers that you didn't expect is something that's so fun for us.
Yeah, and that's also a lot of how you know, Twitch is obviously a much better, more well-known platform. A lot of the way we come across Theta-only streamers is because they start out as Twitch streamers hosted on Sliver TV. Woo! And then as they learn about the platform and then in the future learn about the benefits of Theta, then they want to make the transition over and move from Twitch full-time to Sliver. So,
exactly.
So that's important to us as kind of a pipeline to introduce Theta and create some of these new Theta channels and get full-time Theta streamers.
Yeah, so there'll be more and more T-Fuel streams you guys can earn. But the short of it is, if you're watching a stream on Twitch, you know, as of right now, you're not going to be earning T-Fuel. So just make sure you look for that icon in the top and you'll be able to know if you're earning. Let's see. Wes, this is a good question for you. Will the Theta wallet in the future allow you to convert between Theta and T-Fuel?
As of now, I would say no, the plan is not. And the reason why is because we are a U.S. company based in San Jose, and according to U.S. regulations, if we allow Theta and T-Fuel to be transferred, then we are arguably operating as an exchange. And one, that is not permitted from a regulatory standpoint unless we actually register as one, and two, it's just not our business to be an exchange. But you know, we can think about some ideas about how we can make it easier for users to from the Theta wallet to connect to.
Woo! Nice.
to connect to exchange or somewhere else where they can exchange, but we won't actually be able to facilitate that ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be a cool integration with a wallet or something that we work with in the future.
Yeah.
Could make sense.
Cool. Back on. I'll be back in just a moment.
Cool. Yeah, so we're caught up over here. Wes is taking a quick step out. Let's see. Well, Sliver, okay. That's a good question. Looks like he's going to be the carry with that double kill. Skackle's such a goon. Such a silly guy. Let's see. Okay. So, will Sliver TV expand beyond esports to other sports video? Great question. So I think the short answer of that is not likely in the future. You know, we're an esports and gaming platform, and right now we're the first D app for THETA. I think right now our user base and our streamers are gamers, and we really want to focus on that and make sure we do that well. But you do see us experimenting with like some non-esports content or non-gaming stuff that gets hosted on Sliver. As far as, you know, regularly hosting sports games, we're not picking up NFL broadcast rights anytime soon. You know, we of course are open to working with community members who want to do IRL streams or things like that. Especially for you crypto folks that are watching, I think we're super aware that you might not all be hardcore gamers and you still want to watch and earn. So that's another really exciting opportunity for our other DApp partners. Look at all this XP we're earning. Let's see, I'm gonna drop a solo game. We're level 9 already. Once I get 15, I can queue rated, and you guys don't want to see that. Okay, let's see. Any Sliver questions here? Wes, by the way, is the head of strategy at THETA, so he's going to be the expert on the more crypto-based questions, stuff about nodes and staking and stuff like that. Not that I don't know about it, but I think Wes is a lot more prepared to handle those questions, and he's the face a lot of you crypto folks have known on the Telegram, on the Twitter, you know, at these events. So I think he does a really good job of working with you all to answer your questions and keep you informed. Let's see. Interesting questions. Yes. Okay. Will there be more types of tournaments on Sliver? Will there be more types of tournaments? That is cool. Let me scoot over. Yeah, there'll definitely be more tournaments on Sliver. You got a Counter-Strike showdown going on tomorrow, and I think we're super open to doing other games. It would just need to have something that our user base actually plays so we can fill the tournament. Fortnite was popular, Apex was popular, Counter-Strike is popular. We're not opposed to a Crunker tournament. We just need to see the demand for it. Quick shout out, T-Fuel shop right behind us. Just a few previews of the merch we got. Yeah. We got the Season 3 shirt right here. We got the T-Fuel logo shirt. I believe that's the Season 1. Yeah, this is the Season... Yes, this is Season 1, I think.
It's old school these days.
Yeah, it is very old school. Or maybe this is Season 2. No, because the one with League of Legends was Season 2. Anyways, yeah, Season 1. And then, of course, you guys can buy PC parts now. You can buy monitors, consoles, controllers. We've got headphones that I saw.
Samsung Gear VR, lots of things. Any type of game console.
And you're earning credit just for watching. Before, you'd have to save up the full amount. Now, you don't want to wait. Just slide it up, get that discount, and get that item for however much T-Fuel you earned as a discount off. That's pretty cool stuff.
No, it's a real cool feature to show off too, because it's not just on Sliver too. Like, we're talking to some of our partners that have subscription models, and so maybe it's $12 a month to subscribe to whatever premium service they have, and they think, well, what do we do with all the users who maybe they don't watch much and it takes them 2-3 months to save up? Maybe that's not that exciting, but if a user is kind of a casual user and maybe they share enough bandwidth to earn $4 a month toward a $12 subscription, that's still something they can redeem just that month. you know, it's a lot more
I know there's some of you out there that watch enough Netflix where you wouldn't mind paying for your own Netflix subscription. That's just an example, but I think it's a powerful one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole basis, yeah. So here's a kind of related to that. This is a question we got asked a lot, both in the community and with partners as well. Is so let's just say for a second that THETA is wildly successful and millions of people are all sharing their bandwidth 24 hours a day. So what happens when ISPs notice and they don't like that we're free riding on their bandwidth? 85th, that's excellent.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, so we do think about that a lot. First of all, if we get to a point where some ISP CEO is banging the table and saying we need to figure out this THETA problem, they're too big, that's probably a good problem to have in the first place. But second, you know, there's, from what we talked to, actually, we've spoken with several of the ISPs, at least in the US and Korea, and what they said is, first of all, their upload capacity is largely underutilized themselves, just because people download a lot more than they upload. So it's not exactly that painful to them to be having that much upload traffic compared to if we added that much download traffic. And the second thing is, if they were to take issue for it, if nothing else because they see users earning lots of rewards for this, for using their upload bandwidth, maybe it comes a day where they take issue with that, and that just means we need to partner with those ISPs as well. And you know, they'll probably appreciate that we're increasing the utilization of their pipes, but they'll want something for it. And maybe the trade-off for that is we say, well, fine, we'll do that in agreement that there's no restrictions on THETA traffic, or maybe it could even be prioritized or something like that. But yeah, short answer is, I think when that problem comes, it means that we prove that the THETA concept is very successful. So
yeah, that's very well said.
Not our largest worry at the moment.
For those of you who were just as impressed as I was by that answer, don't forget to follow Wes_Levitt on Twitter. We actually have a giveaway right under here. If you guys are watching on Sliver, of course, you can follow Wes for 1,000 additional entries. You can follow myself, Kyle, for 1,000 additional entries. And of course, follow Sliver and THETA. We'll be trying to post updates like this. Of course, the AMA is going to be the quickest, the best way to get your question answered. But you follow us, and you hopefully will see more and more content that you like. Got the Tfue skin on. I gotta be careful about this. Gotta play nicely.
What is that? What is the Tfue skin?
The Tfue skin. So this is one of the most famous players in the world, if not the most, besides Ninja. He was like famous because he would never buy Fortnite skins, and he would always use this one, which is like a nose. He's like, okay, this kid who made millions of dollars isn't even willing to buy skins. And it was this big thing where, like, once they took out the gray burst assault rifle, he makes a joke, if you guys take out this crappy gun, I'll start buying skins. And I don't think they took it out because of that. They were just doing balance changes. But, you know, he started buying a few skins after that, but he'll always be known as the guy who refused to pay for skins for the longest time. I mean, the guy makes just millions a year. He just posted a video of him, like, buying his mom a Tesla. He bought a warehouse. They're always, like, buying jet skis. Like, the amount of money that supported creator code is making Fortnite players is nuts. And I think one note I want to make on that is we love that idea of, hey, get something that you wanted, get a Fortnite skin that you wanted, and it supports the creator you love. So I can't speak to any particular features, but I think that's an idea that's powerful that we would love to incorporate and get more into Sliver, whether it's merch, whether it's whatever that is. I think buy something you like and support your favorite streamer. Awesome. We love it. And we love making our streamers more money, right? I mean, why not?
Yeah. Radio optimism. That's a good point about upload capacity. That it isn't completely even from an infrastructure point, but it is still underutilized in the strictest sense, in that the majority of people don't use anywhere close to the upload bandwidth that's allotted to them. But that point is one of the reasons why we're excited about 5G, because we've talked to a lot of these companies, the telcos that are really looking for a use case for 5G upload speed, because they don't know there's no consumer use case really for 1 gigabit up at this point. So they've got this thing that's a technological advancement, but they don't know how to sell it to users because they don't know what they'll do with it. So we've said our idea is that we can provide that use case and be that killer app for 5G upload speed.
Yeah, exactly. G Fuel's in chat. That's got to be Kirst or Cliff. Welcome. Actually, let's do a quick plug. So G Fuel, Cliff will be streaming on Theta at 4:30 p.m. PST in 1.5 hours. And there'll actually be 2 Theta streams streaming at once, which is really cool. It's not something you see too often. So you guys will be able to tune in to our regular program streamer or catch Cliff on the G Fuel stream. Uh-oh. I got rocked.
Here's an interesting one. How do you convince potential partners with a conservative view on crypto to use the Theta network?
That's a good. So I get that a lot, and I'm happy to like kick that question off because Wes does a lot of biz dev, I do biz dev, and you're on a conversation with a smart person, and you're explaining this concept of like free stuff, and immediately they're a little guarded, and I think
the bullshit meter goes off.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's this?
There's nothing free, right?
There's nothing free, and I think as soon as they understand of like, hey, what we're doing is we're harnessing your upload bandwidth. When you watch a stream and you download something, all that's going download, but very rarely do people use their upload bandwidth. And once they realize, hey, we're using a resource you've already paid for, and that's not even being harnessed, and we're giving you those kind of savings in return, that's where they go, oh, so you're taking something that I was ignoring and I wasn't taking advantage of and automating it and giving me a reward. And that's been kind of a powerful message that I've been using.
Yeah, and it's a lot of educational work on our part.
Yeah.
Because we are dealing with a lot of traditional companies that, they have a lot of questions about how does crypto work. They're curious about how is this going to work from a technical standpoint, from a legal and regulatory standpoint, from an accounting standpoint, if they're going to be holding tokens, custody of tokens. There's a lot of questions, but it gets easier and easier every day. One thing, just because people are becoming more educated about it, and part of that's us pushing to educate too, but also just because there's more and more solutions for crypto as a whole that are coming online. But a lot of it's just us working through it with companies. If they haven't worked or partnered with any blockchain project before, sometimes there's some hesitation. But it really just comes down to hearing out what their concerns are and working through them. Like one of the examples was one of our major company we worked with that didn't even know how to hold tokens, and so they were scared about what if they lose them, what if they this thing. So we just walked them through step by step how to use a nano ledger, which sounds silly, but they were starting from zero experience to it, and once they understood the process and got comfortable with it, then they were a lot more comfortable with partnering. So it just takes time and education, but we think for the most part we can bring them around.
Yeah, it's just like crypto in general too, right? Once you have someone to like put money on something that they have sole responsibility for and they need to understand, it's just that education takes time, and it'll get more consumer friendly, I think, as the years go on. Oh,
yeah, that's right. 3 years ago, it was much more difficult. 3 years from now, it'll be even easier.
I like the questions like, how many tickets does everyone else have answered? Or have entered? It's a good one. We don't know how to answer it.
And so, J-Lil, your question about whether there's a cap for running a Guardian node. No, there's no cap for how many you can stake through a Guardian node, and the TIFO you earn will be proportional for that. When the Guardian nodes launch in Q3, that is.
Show them your full face, that pretty face. Yeah, look, they want to see the merch behind us.
All right, let's see. Let's do another question on here.
What's up with the Guardian Gnomes?
The Guardian Gnomes? Is that like a mascot for the Guardian Nodes?
It could be. You could be onto something there,
Guardian Gnome. Whoever wants to illustrate a Guardian Gnome as the proof of concept for the mascot for the Guardian Nodes, best one gets a THETA mainnet t-shirt.
Let's see. I think I had... Okay, did I have anything that I wanted to bring up in particular? Actually, you guys have been asking some pretty good questions. I did want to hint that we've got some exciting new brand partners around the corner, which will always be, expanding our shop. We've got more community nights like this AMA. We've got the showdown tomorrow. I think you'll see some opportunities to play with your favorite MOTGs or even watch them. So Turbo, Rayhan, Nam, all these kind of guys, they'll actually be here in this room, and if they want to have the camera on, they can. And they'll be playing for a few hours. You can watch them, earn T-Fuel, ask questions. I think we're a big fan of these community events, so definitely follow us on social and stay tuned to that. Kyle, what about mod merch? I think merch tools are something we're working on. So, for now, focusing on streamers, but as mods are a huge part of Sliver, that's definitely something that we can talk about and consider. How can we let our users support the mods?
So who drew this on the board behind us? This was our awesome designer, Vera. I think this may actually be the proof of concept for this t-shirt here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's an incredible artist, and she does animation work and design work, and comes up with some real creative stuff. I mean, sometimes we give her pretty loose ideas, and she really does a good job at capturing, and not give any credit to Mike. We've got two designers in house that work together and give THETA that sleek, sexy tech look that it has. They're gonna sing Barbie Girl. Oh man.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Brutal. Yeah. I totally just dropped the wrong way. I did not mean to drop here. This is a boring place to drop. Okay. Oh, I'm stuck now. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, we're definitely always talking to more streaming platforms, and we know Mixer as well. We can't discuss specifics on them unless there's something public we're doing with them, but yeah, that's a big part, especially now that the mainnet's live. A big part of what we're doing is focusing on getting as many platforms to adopt the THETA mainnet as possible.
Yeah, Kirsch, that's a fun thing you guys did for your mods. Yeah, I definitely want to be clear that we talk about mods a lot here, and we're always figuring out, and discussing what are new features or new ways to support them. So, of course, we got a lot on our plate that we're working on. But first off, we appreciate all you, and second off, stay tuned because there's of course some good stuff in the works. Elon Musk in chat asking about Tesla. No, I'm joking. Elon Musk memeing in chat.
Well, I saw him recently shout out Bitcoin and then Dogecoin, so yeah, I think THETA is likely next.
I don't think he actually owns Bitcoin though. He said like, "Oh, my friend gave me a paper wallet with it once." It's like, I mean, maybe, yeah. I bet you he probably owns some, right? He's got to have a little bit.
You can't even say that. No.
How cool would that be?
Now we can add to when Binance will be when Elon.
I know, yeah. How cool would that be to be like, yeah, I know Elon's like Bitcoin address. We occasionally exchange Bitcoin together. Oh man. Yeah. I've seen a few esports players tweet at him, and he's pretty relevant and good at responding. Like he knows how to keep himself a very entertaining figure while still being smart and doing his thing.
Yeah. So someone asked before the stream, how will Sliver incentivize users with lower bandwidth speeds to share with each other in areas where higher bandwidth speeds are not possible? So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, because with lower bandwidth speeds it's more difficult to share, but if you can form a strong peering connection with someone, it's more beneficial too, because if the CDN, especially if you're pulling from a stream very far away, the CDN isn't strong, and say like in Brazil where we have a lot of our user base and often has troubles with CDN, then if you form 2 or 3 strong peers around, it can actually make a more reliable connection and help you. As far as the rewards go, it could go either way, but there's definitely a possibility that you see a situation where because you're earning T-Fuel, a resource that has one price globally, absent a few irregularities with exchanges, then presumably if you're in a place with lower bandwidth speeds and lower CDNs, it's pretty strongly correlated with places with lower cost of living. So the same T-Fuel you earn, or the same like 1,000 T-Fuel you earn, is going to be worth more to you on like a purchasing power basis than it would be in, say, like San Francisco or Seoul or Tokyo or something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's like, hey, as more people use the network, like the more everyone's gonna have more likely to have peers and be earning kind of the rate that they're looking for. So, you know, something that you can do is if you feel like you're not getting enough peers, is like tell your friends, tell people around you, and I mean that's a great place to start. Hey, watch the stream with me, and hopefully we can peer together and earn.
I know we aren't discussing price, I think, but this is probably just on the edge of what we'll answer.
We are discussing what?
Price, but what are you going to do if YouTube offers $100 million to sell your project? I assume you need to acquire. First of all, first thing I would say is that's not as much as it is worth now, and
yeah.
YouTube can take a walk. No, but seriously, the acquisition model, I think, doesn't really make as much sense in a crypto project or a blockchain startup as it does in like more of a traditional tech company. And I mean, I'm not sure that that's good for anyone if Google acquires what's supposed to be a decentralized system. I feel like that's kind of moving backwards. So yeah, I don't think that's productive, and they can't afford us.
Yeah, they can't afford us. This new bow, look at this. It's like an arrow, like an explosive arrow. This thing.
Oh yeah, I just used that for the first time.
You used it?
Killed
Yeah.
someone point blank with it.
Yeah, they brought the
It's pretty
grappler
cool.
back, it looks like. Huh.
Hey Hardjob, if you're connecting with any of your peers, you're earning T-Fuel right now. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. Woo.
Yeah. No, it's actually it's a big reason why I think THETA has an advantage over some of the previous peer-to-peer systems, because it's built on WebRTC, at least in the desktop version. So instead of having to download a new program or a Chrome extension or something to use it, you can just pop onto the site and you immediately start sharing and then start earning T-Fuel. And it's a big deal. I mean, you think downloading a program, that doesn't take very long, but any friction point really is a barrier to adoption. And we think that's the reason why we can get a lot of casual people on it, learning more about THETA and wanting to be part of share it, is you jump right in and start contributing to the network and benefiting from it.
Oh man.
What's going on here, Kyle?
I know, I get lost. This game is pretty fun, man. I get lost in this game. It's pretty cool to see Fortnite take off as it has, but it is just a good game. It's just polished. I just smile when I play it.
Yeah. Kyle is a pro player.
What is up, everyone in chat? Okay, first off, I'd love to hear where everyone's from. A, it's kind of useful for this whole peering thing, but two, I'm just curious to hear where, folks listening in, where are you from? We're here in San Jose, California. Oh, where is this guy? We're here in San Jose, California. It was sunny last week. It's back to gloom, but it's still nice out relatively, and summer feels like it's just right around the corner.
Still California, so no complaints.
Where is this? Oh, that guy just died.
So someone asked beforehand, what partners will accept T-Field to promote their product? So T-Field is integral to the way the THETA protocol works. So all of the partners, CJ, Samsung, NBN, and any others that are in process, they'll all be using T-Field in some form or another. Whether it's just like it is on Sliver, or as we talked about a little earlier today, if some platform wants to white label it, where, say, as an example, they wanted to rename it NBN coin or NBN token, something like that, that's fine too, as long as it's THETA fuel under the hood. And the economics and the mechanics of the protocol are the same either way. If it's just a branding thing, I mean, a lot of video platforms are protective of their brands and may want to do that. That's okay with us as long as it's still creating adoption and demand for T-Fuel and the THETA protocol.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of interest from brands already, and even like distributors or people who sell esports jerseys or whatever product it is. You'll see them kind of slowly getting added to the store, but we're in some really exciting talks, and this shop update that you just saw was just the beginning, just kind of the first big update there, and of course adding new items, bringing in new partners, all that is totally in the works, and just kind of stay tuned for those updates. We're not ready to announce yet.
Hey, Kybox, I saw you asked about what happens when the Guardian nodes launch, and there's 100,000 minimum to stake. So the reason for that is to prevent someone with a relatively small amount of theta from essentially taking up all the nodes, because that really will determine the security of the network if someone can do that. So that's why we need a minimum. As for those users under it, a lot of protocols have some form of delegated proof of stake or other types of pooling. We're researching and deciding whether to do something like that. Definitely, if it enhances the network security by getting more THETA tokens staked to the network, then that's something that we all benefit from. It makes the network more safe. We won't do it just to do it, but like I said, there's a lot of arguments in favor of either pooling for nodes or for some type of delegation. So we're looking into that, and as we get closer to the Guardian nodes launching in Q3, we should have some more well thought out ideas about what that might look like.
Okay, quick update. Let's go back here. We got some cool locations. Look at everyone's worldwide. Oh my God, Nebraska, Las Vegas, Philippines, San Diego, Germany, Korea, Florida. I mean, guys, imagine once you've got 10 peers in every one of those spots. I mean, the earning rate is
you even have Mitch chiming in from Seoul, Korea.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then what were we just talking about? I had a note on that actually.
Oh, about the Guardian nodes in the minute?
I don't think I had a note on that.
Yeah.
I think there was something else I was thinking.
If you can expand on the technical elements of that.
No. That's all Wes right there.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of questions for a Mac and a Linux version of the pre-Guardian node client. So yeah, we hear you guys. I know there's a lot of people who were excited to join and were upset that it was only Windows to begin with. We are working hard on that, and we should have some info on that pretty soon, hopefully. We'll try to get as many people involved in it as possible.
Man, so many people from all over the world tuning in. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually one of the most important facts we try to emphasize. That, in fact, over the testnet period, there was 149, I think, countries represented that used the THETA testnet at some point. So it really is a global network, which is obviously important because it's a peer-to-peer network, and we want to cover as much of the world sharing bandwidth with each other as we can.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, this is still a little ways out, but we're working to bring you more transparency on where the network's being used. So I've heard the developers talk about some cool ideas like a live geography map, or seeing kind of where are some of these users that you're peering from, or even using the network as a whole. We want to bring you that data and show it right to you live. So it takes a little while to build that out, but definitely hear you, and any other data you guys are wanting to see, and are interested in, let us know, and we're always listening. So You know, I'm sure the San Francisco Bay Area and stuff like that will be very heavy on the geo map, but what I'm seeing in chat is it's actually pretty worldwide, and that's so cool to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so something related to that. A user asked beforehand, we get this question a lot about how do you share your video and your excess bandwidth when you're not watching Sliver TV or one of our other platforms, partner platforms coming on soon. It's a great question. We're actually in development of something we call a universal caching node. Layman's terms, what that is basically a program you can run and you can share bandwidth with any of the platforms that are running THETA. So like pretty soon between Sliver and NBN and CJ and Samsung or any future platforms as well. And you don't even have to be watching that particular video platform. And this is great for like the super users, if you will, that have great internet connection. They just want to share as much bandwidth as possible, 24/7, and earn T-fuel. That's exactly what this program is going to be designed for. So we have that on our roadmap coming up later this year. That's something really exciting.
Yeah, and let's go back to the basics. I think there's like a lot of there's some really good questions in here from those that have been following the project. But for those of you that might just be tuning in or are kind of new to the whole thing, essentially what's happening is you're watching the stream, and by watching this stream, what we're doing is we're automatically checking to see if there's users. When we say nearby, it could be 1,000 miles, but essentially you're uploading that same stream that you're watching to those around you. And you're saving what's called CDN, Content Delivery Network costs, to our company, and we're giving you those savings back in the form of THETA fuel. So you basically watch a stream, you earn THETA fuel because you're automatically uploading your bandwidth, and you can take that THETA fuel and spend it in the shop. You can donate it to your favorite streamers, but you're essentially just earning for watching. So I think that simple concept has rung it's just resonated very well with our users, and it's a very simple and easy to understand concept. So feel free to ask questions if you don't understand that there, but at first people say, how are you giving me free stuff? Is it a scam? No, we're harnessing resources you weren't using and giving you that back in the form of THETA fuel. So let us know if that doesn't make sense, and we're happy to kind of break that down.
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple in that sense. Every time you relay a video to another Sliver user in this case, that's a video stream that we didn't have to pay for because you did that relay for us. So that's how we're able to take that value saved there, and then the THETA protocol can deliver that back to users in the form of tokens. So it's really just changing where the value chain is. It's a win-win for all the parties.
Let's go back to let's see our full beautiful faces. I don't think we need to see any more Fortnite today, unless you want to play again.
Well, I was doing pretty good.
He was doing pretty good.
And so someone asked, Alex Villa asked, what you think the biggest challenges encountered while working on the project. What would you say with Sliver? Back to the VR days when you were putting on these live events?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think like in general, just being a name that someone hadn't heard about. And like, it kind of reminds me of the question earlier where I was like, how did you guys get streamers to work for you? It's something where people are very skeptical at first of new things, and they don't exactly, they don't want to believe you when you say, hey, I can help you get views or help you do something. But the question is, what are the biggest challenge? I mean, the challenge is like, is getting in front of people and, okay, let me think about this. I'm kind of ad-libbing it, but basically convincing someone that what you have is valuable to them, and finding out how to do that on a wide scale. So for us with Sliver, it was how do we get a bunch of streamers, and so we focused on a few at first, but and then sometimes the question is, how do we work with a brand or a game developer, a publisher? And I think these are all challenges that one by one we figured out, well, what can we offer them? Start there, and then they kind of come to us. So earlier we talked about some things like when Valve banned skin trading and how that affected our website, or how when DreamHack Masters ESL, the DreamHack feed shut off, how we dealt with that as a VR company. But I think day to day, just having smart people that know the world's not ending if something goes wrong, and instead have the attitude of, okay, well, how can we fix this, and how can we make this better? That's been an attitude that's brought us through any challenge. So I don't have a juicy story where, you know, someone robbed us, and, you know, I don't know what you're looking for. But I think hiring smart people maybe is a simple answer to that question.
Yeah. I think the challenges on the Theta side comes down to just that crypto and blockchain it's very early in the space, and there's a lot of education work to do on both sides. Part of it is there's a whole lot we have to explain to our partners, to the community about how all this works, and frankly there's a lot that we have to learn along the way as well. I mean, I've learned a lot just being you know, day to day in our Theta community and learning from a lot of the very crypto savvy folks in there. And it's critical that we have such a great community because you know, there's a lot of times where we've actually put out design decisions that our communities discussed, and they've actually put forward better solutions than we had, and that we were able to make a better protocol because of what they had submitted. So there's a lot of challenges associated with that because to some extent everyone in the blockchain space is kind of learning as they go, but you know, it has been easier because we have so many smart folks in our community that are helping us along the way.
Yeah, and I think like these are two answers from like your marketing guys. I think if we did an AMA with JE or Ryan or some of the technical folks, they would have a super interesting answer there. Yeah. And they're overcoming real engineering hurdles, whereas sometimes what we're talking about are business operations or marketing or logistical things. So yeah, I think hopefully that gives you guys a better picture of
That's true. We kind of did the thing where you answer what's the biggest challenge, you end up turning it into a good thing, whereas if you ask one of the engineers, they'll probably say when the entire system broke and they were here for 24 hours straight, but we'll keep it light.
Yeah, man, they were working so hard leading up to the mainnet, and they still are, you know, spending long hours, but just that, I think that pressure of, hey, we've got the mainnet coming up, we've got to hit this, we've got our test, you know, we were working on testnet since June, so I think they prepared really well, but yeah, those engineers are smart guys, and they've solved any problem that's been thrown at them thus far.
Yeah, they're the ones doing the real work here.
Let's catch up with some of these questions.
Quick one, Jay Little just asked if we were to run more than one PC per Guardian node deck is redundant. That would probably be possible, but we'll know more about that as we get closer to the launch.
How long has this stream been going for? Exclamation point uptime. No, we don't have that. Since 2 p.m. So we've been live for about an hour and a half, and we'll take this VOD and we'll upload it somewhere for you guys to watch, or maybe even rebroadcast it so you can earn T-Fuel while you watch.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to field a few last questions. We're not in a rush to get out of here, but kind of any last ones you guys want to get in. It looks like Wes wants to hop in on a rumble. Is that what I saw? He's like, all right, kind of with his body language suggesting, all right, worst case, I play a little Fortnite.
Let's do it.
So yeah, again, I'm happy to talk a little bit more on the Sliver side of things. If you guys have questions about streamers or content or brands or whatever it is that you want to know, or how do I earn coins, we can even go over that. Let's see. We've got our custom emotes. Okay, for those of you who haven't checked out the custom emotes, let's get a turboof in chat. Turbo oof. We're here on the Showdown channel.
What exactly does that
it's one of our MOTGs, Turbo. And he's like got his face warped, so his forehead's huge. He's known for always saying oof. So someone made a turboof. I think it's pronounced turboof. But let's get some turboofs in chat. Let's check out the new emotes. And actually pretty soon I think we're going to be opening up the community to be able to submit their own custom emotes, and we'll review those. And people ask about new features. I think streamer emotes, community emotes, things like that are something
that sounds like a great idea and a frightening one.
Well, obviously they're moderated and
only appropriate. Only appropriate emotes.
Where's the best place to stay up to date? Twitter? Great question. Great question from XX Fast Life XX. Yes, Twitter. Twitter's the best spot. I think for the Theta community, Telegram's a great spot to be as well. Yep. It's a little more live. But Wes _Levitt on Twitter, Theta _token on Twitter.
Theta _network.
Theta _network, that's right. Excuse me. Theta _network. I'm at Kyle Laffey. And if you guys actually join the giveaway below here, you can follow us for entries to the giveaway. So Both of us will sometimes post, personal updates on what we're working on or something. But I think following Sliver and THETA on Twitter in general too will give you a lot of good up to dates. Where is my question? Young Ultra Breed, we must not have either seen it or you didn't get it in time. More browser support this year for THETA. I would imagine so. Yeah, I mean, I imagine like right now they've got the main browsers, and of course more browser support is something that makes it easier for more users.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about updating for Brave browser. We like that project a lot, and like I said, we'd like to see any of their blockchain projects succeed. So we'll be working to make sure Brave is supported too.
Yeah, the Brave. We were just talking to Brave. They're a smart company. Cool. So let's see. Update for iOS Sliver app. For now, we recommend you watch on the web browser. So obviously, desktop is going to be your best experience, and I think updates to the apps are something we do want to do. And in the meantime, we recommend you use just the browser on your phone. The Android app did just get updated recently, so I know iOS is being discussed. It takes some time, so be patient there. Can T-Fuel help me become a better Fortnite player? Great question, Kaibox. Yes. Yeah, let's talk through that here. So, can it help you become a better Fortnite player? Yeah, it can, and here's exactly how. Let's talk about it. 1, you're earning T-Fuel for watching, let's assume Fortnite streams, okay? I mean, Dub plays Fortnite, Ronnie sometimes plays Fortnite, Skackle definitely plays Fortnite. So you're watching these T-Fuel streams, you're learning how to be like a god, okay? How to play well. So, number 1. 2, you're earning T-Fuel for watching, which you can spend on the shop for, say, a better mouse,
good point,
better headset,
yeah,
maybe a keyboard. All these things will make you a better player. I don't know why I went with that question, but yeah, that's actually kind of the truth. Will T-Fuel make me a better player?
It's a legit one.
If you look at it right. Love the Lambo, no angry badge. Great jobs, guys. Thanks for the info. Chongo666, thanks, man. Later. Still can't wait for the Center Smith. Oh yeah, we're gonna be adding some new emotes there. Guardian Gnome. That could be a fun emote we add. How do we know if that's the real Wes Levitt?
I might start asking for people's private keys on stream at any time.
We'll do KYC on him here. We'll make sure.
In general, for everyone who's been in our Telegram channel and has probably been hit up by a scam, Wes Levitt, we're very sorry about that, and we do take it seriously. Unfortunately, Telegram just doesn't have really good controls over who can make an account, so anyone can make a Wes Levitt account and then DM you and start asking for trying to scam you out of your THETA tokens, which is unfortunate. But we will obviously never ask you for anything like that or grab a key. And just anytime it comes to crypto, just be safe. Never give out any private info.
Yeah, that's just a good rule in life in general. Is like the company you're trying to get help from is never gonna try to ask for your password or have you send them money or really stop and think about what is happening right here, and more importantly, just verify and make sure that's the real Wes Levitt if that's who you're trying to reach out to, and you can do that by going to our THETA token Telegram and actually scrolling to one of the admins and clicking through to him so you know he's the right one, because they can copy his profile picture, they can copy his name, but you just gotta make sure you're talking to the right one. So just be careful on that. We got some smart folks in chat, they know. More Barbie girl support. You guys love Barbie girl. Well, maybe in the future, maybe if we get enough demand for it.
Yeah.
Will the Sliver Shaker ever be restocked? I think if you guys tweet at G Fuel enough, we can get it restocked. Yeah, there's pretty high demand for those things. I think we're doing another batch of those. Angry's upset. Why is Angry upset? Because he said no angry badge. Yes, correct. No angry badge.
It is an angry badge.
Yeah, Fortnite even has a loading screen that prevents V-Bucks scams. Yeah, I mean, just in general, always be careful of your information and never give out your password or anything like that. Especially in the crypto world where there's not necessarily a bank to reverse a transaction or do something like that. That's part of the beauty of decentralization. That's also, I think, part of the fear of some of the people that are new to it. So always kind of watch your back and be safe with your keys and your passwords. Cool. Okay, let's get some final questions in here. Any questions about Sliver, Theta, Ethereum smart contracts, anything like that? We're happy to answer it before we take off here. We answered all these questions just about. We've had a few submitted since the beginning. I can check these out.
Some great, really inappropriate ones.
Yeah, there's always, hey, they asked how long are we friends? It's been about since what, like May of 27? No, wait. Did you start then? Yeah.
Before I joined the company.
I mean, we've been friends for years. Is the short answer. If we were to get down to the months, we're gonna have to look at emails and dates and texts, but there's obviously chemistry.
Right.
I mean, the team here is well oiled. Okay, we all know each other. We do community events. We just went bowling the other night.
Very exciting stuff.
Pretty fun stuff. But yeah, we also of course work hard. Let's see. I should have just left. A Sliver watch. Interesting. Yeah. Well, we did partner with Movement, and you never know, what the next brand could be and what the next item in the shop could be stocked. So it's not off the table. Custom Sliver watch. I could rock one of those. I could see that. Favorite G Fuel flavor? Do you have a favorite? After you. Oh! Okay, so Wes is actually going to be leaving the Theta team. He just got accepted into professional Fortnite. Is that face? That's enough. We will sell him. Yeah, we'll sell him to you. Okay, good.
How much did you get from me?
How much did we get? Yeah, a lot more than you. Man, that guy's good at Fortnite. Let's see. I feel like I saw someone ask a good question, and then I started riffing, and I missed it. Oh, okay. Here's a pretty good question. Young Ultra Breed. He said, what is the biggest pro of T-Fuel against other cryptocurrencies? Or what makes it better?
That's a pretty broad question, so I don't know how to answer in general, but I guess one thing I'd say is that T-Fuel is a very specific use case for paying for bandwidth sharing and in the future any kind of data sharing. So just because it's focused and not one of 100 competing general purpose currencies, I think it's going to help us with adoption. It's also easier for our partners to understand because it really just does one thing and it's very well suited to it. It's not trying to be a million things at once or be a new. I think one of the taglines for crypto is that it's Web 3.0 or something along those lines, which is, I understand what they're getting at, but to a mainstream partner, it's just too much for them to take in. I think they understand what we're trying to do here, and that helps us with adoption.
Yeah, and I think it's too important to understand that it's not like Bitcoin or Theta, who will win? It's not this face-off where only one of these can be successful. I mean, we have a very clear use case of decentralizing data sharing and rewarding our users for that. So things like Bitcoin, some of these other projects are totally trying to accomplish something different. Bitcoin being obviously the big one and not necessarily a company, but all these other even top 100 crypto companies kind of have a vision, and if they carry that vision out, there can be simultaneously a lot of them that exist. So just don't have the impression that as one goes up, another has to go down. As long as it makes sense and there's kind of a utility for that token, they can absolutely coexist.
Yeah.
Chunks. Let's see. Okay, let's see.
Article 13. I'm not familiar with Article 13. We'll have to do some digging on that.
Yeah, I think Chunks, your question is about Article 13. I mean, we're still kind of talking with our legal and talking about how this is affecting this whole landscape. It's a pretty big thing. So more than happy to answer that. I just don't feel like we have a full answer for you yet. So just hang tight. And I think It's something that we're looking at, and we know it's a big deal, but we don't want to give you the wrong information right now. So thanks for your patience on that. Bitcoin uses power. Theta uses the internet. That's a great point. Yeah. Proof of work, proof of stake. Woo. Well, the banana was on your team. I was like, you hit the banana 1,000 times.
No. I was just. Fortunately, I should not have been shooting
that. Eric, we are like Wes mentioned. We are looking to support the Brave browser. We can't comment on anything further. FaZe Wes over here. Woo! Almost cleans up. You know, I realized earlier when I was signing you to FaZe, like 5 minutes ago, they didn't even see that kill that I saw because we were on the full mode.
Does this mean I had 6? Do I have 6 kills?
You have 6 kills. I told you guys, he's on FaZe. I mean, it's like, yeah, we got offers from Cloud9, we got offers from GSM, we heard from every team, and at the end of the day, we went with FaZe. So Wes will be joining FaZe as a professional Fortnite player, specializing in Guardian node questions. He's a Fortnite / crypto enthusiast content creator for FaZe, very niche. Yeah. Can we bring back Sliver Surge? Yeah, I think that was awesome, Chunks. We'd love to do that. And you're going to see a lot more community events happening, so that would be fall under that category of a showdown or an AMA. Definitely a Surge is possible. It's a little different though now that we host directly on Sliver instead of Twitch. The format might need to change.
No, that's not what I
Well, you can press space! No! So there's this thing. So you have an item where you can press space twice, and if you jump from a high height, you can like deploy your glider.
Oh, I think I could have done that already, actually. I just didn't know how.
You just fell instead. That's
hey, Ben asked about the mainnet and how the nodes are running. That's correct. That right now it's just running on with THETA Labs run nodes, and we're currently in the onboarding process with several of our major partners to run nodes as well. And then later this year, once Guardian nodes launch, several of the validator nodes can actually be Guardian nodes, kind of on a rotating basis that go in. So you have really like representatives of the whole space, and then eventually THETA Labs' role can sort of be de-emphasized as partners and community and so on. Take force. As to why we didn't wait until then, why we launched before the Guardian nodes, the simple answer is just because the partners that we are working with already on the testnet like the idea of their users getting rewarded and are eager to do that. They are less concerned with the governance of the protocol. To them, the big thing is whether they can start letting their users get rewarded and whether they can save CDN costs. I think it's secondary to them whether it's Guardian nodes securing the network, whether it's THETA Labs. They just want the product that works for them. So to us, it seemed more important to get the mainnet out and get those partners on board and get their users to start earning. And then in time we can, in Q3 of this year, then we can start moving that to a more decentralized governance.
Good answer. And then from Erica, will we be able to run nodes? Probably kind of falls under that same question.
Yeah, if that means the Guardian nodes, then yes, when Q3 launches, there's some requirements in that you have to hold a certain number of THETA tokens. Right now, we're thinking the optimal is around 100,000, but that could change. And there's hardware requirements, there's uptime requirements, but beyond that, there's no selection process on the part of THETA Labs. We aren't going to be picking Guardian nodes, and we don't want it to be a situation where we're still effectively in control of picking the nodes. It's going to be open to anyone that meets the requirements that wants to run a node.
Yeah, that's well said. And then, yeah, T-Rex, you got your question answered. There's 5 billion T-Fuel in supply.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Okay. Kind of any last notes, I guess, from you before we head out here?
No. Well, any other questions we didn't answer, or if you catch this later, feel free to join us in our Telegram channel, which there's links to on the Sliver site, or at ThedaToken.org.
Ooh, I know what we can do. We can draw the raffle and the giveaway.
Oh, really?
So let's find out who won.
What are we giving away?
So in the grand giveaway, if you follow Wes_Levitt or Kyle Laffey on Twitter, you can win 5,000 T-Fuel.
Oh,
so a pack of 5,000 T-Fuel goes a long way on Sliver TV.
Yeah,
and then if you clicked here to support us, oh, my computer ran out of battery. Then you can you have a chance to win a THETA mainnet shirt and a T-Fuel shirt. I can actually do it from this computer, so let me draw this prediction. Let's see. All right, here we go. Drum roll, even though they're seeing this in 30 seconds. Okay, quick note, a feature we're working on is delay. We know that our streamers are a little, when they say something versus chat, there's a little bit of a delay, and they're definitely working on that, and that's something that we want to improve to make it more, more live streaming. It's not that long of a delay, it's not too bad, but of course, the shorter the delay, the better. So with that said, that's a long enough drum roll. Let's draw the winner. Hey, who won? Duck Ann won the THETA limited edition mainnet shirt.
That's the good one.
And Neo69 won the T-Fuel shirt. Okay, one more thing to draw. Our grand giveaway. Let's do that. Okay, so for those of you who entered, we're gonna give you just a few more seconds to enter. Go down, get your coins in, enter.
5,000 T-Fuel.
Here we go. Okay, and let's see. Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna close that here in a sec. Gonna let them wait on it. And let's draw it. The winner of 5,000 T-Fuel. Oh, it's Genion, one of the mods. Congrats to him.
Can you draw that again? A mod? I think we should give it out again.
We could do one more. We could do one more. Yeah. I mean, the mods do have as good of a chance to win as anyone, of course. Congrats to him for winning, but I wouldn't mind
let's just give out a second
5,000 T-Fuel. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. We're going to do this one in the form of a raffle. So let's go ahead and add that here. 5,000 T-Fuel. Okay, I don't think we need a crate with it. Yeah, okay, cool. 5,000 T-Fuel. I'm going to click here for a chance to win. Minus.
So everyone here clicks? That's all you do? Just click in the end?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to give everyone one more chance.
Alright. They just click the button, convert to T-Fuel, that's it?
No, it's right above that. One lucky winner will win. Okay. Oh, it's because there's not a crate. Sorry, let me add that. I don't have access to this doc. It'll give me. Well, in the meantime, Wes will say something about THETA while I do this real quick.
All right. I'm sure there's still some tough questions out there that people are dying to have answered, so.
Let's see. Okay. And make sure everyone clicks here to get in.
$5,000 T-Fuel, what did you spend that on?
5,000? Actually,
Gear VR controller.
yeah. Let's look at the shop. Let me make sure that worked.
You buy like 8 Theta mugs. Have a whole set.
The image for the 5,000 T fuel is not showing up for some reason. Okay, well, still working. One winner will win 5,000 T fuel. As far as Wes, what would I buy? Let's browse the store. Let's check this out real quick. Man, I mean, you've got some nice shirts for 2,000 T fuel. Oh, with summer coming up, the towel and the tank top. You could walk with 4,000 T fuel. You could walk away with a towel, a tank top, and 1,000 T fuel on top of that.
Lovely.
What would I get? Or what wouldn't I get? Why don't we start there? Right. What would you get?
Alex Vela asked, in 5 words, how would you describe Mitch? Well, that is a loaded question there, my friend, especially since Mitch is watching this stream from Korea right now. So, Kyle, I'll let you go first. How would you describe Mitch?
No, I mean, Mitch is our chief executive officer of Sliver / THETA. That's 5 words. No, he's a good guy. I mean, we're not going to talk about people's personalities and things like that on stream, but why don't you judge for yourself on the next AMA? It sounds like Mitch will be joining us.
That's right. You should come on Mitch's himself and get to know him.
Yeah, there you go. So for 5,000 T fuel, you can get, there's headsets in here you can get. I mean, you can almost get a controller. Maybe I'd take my 5,000, save up a bit more, and get like a PlayStation controller. I mean, the beauty is you can dynamically apply that T fuel.
That's right.
Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this and wrap this up here. I'm going to go ahead and draw the second. All right, let's get a drum roll again. Da-da-da. And who wins? Who wins? It is Delva.
All right, congrats, Delva. 5,000 T fuel coming your way.
Delva, 5,000 more T fuel. Congrats. See, it's not just mods who win. I think Genion probably knew what he was doing and put a bunch of coins in, and he's been on the site a lot. So, cool. Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. Appreciate you guys tuning in, guys and gals.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out and asking questions.
Yeah, hopefully you earned some T fuel just for watching. Yeah. And definitely follow on Twitter. Join the THETA Telegram, and you guys will get some news about when's the next AMA, when's the next event, and you of course can submit feedback in terms of what you like or what you didn't. So that's going to be it from us for now. Cool, and until next time, thanks everyone.
Thanks guys, have a good one.